For the past couple of years, I was struggling with procrastination. I couldn't bring myself to just simply sit down and study math. For the past 2 years, I had a deadline within 2 years to study math and to finally go to university, to learn things that I really need to study and to go somewhere that I really want to become. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't just sit down and study math because, we have exams for math and I need to study for math. But no, for some reason I just was procrastinating. I still kept myself from doing this. Why is that? How is that? First thing first that you should remember is that none of the techniques from the internet will work for you if you're still on this phase of just simply you don't know why nothing else works. None of the techniques will work. None of the Pomodoro techniques, none of the 1 minute rule, 5 second rule, planning, I don't know, anything else, none of this will work for you at that stage. It will be a waste of time. For the past 2 years, I was really wanted to just sit down and do the things. And you would say yo, you didn't actually just practice it, I mean, you know about Pomodoro techniques, but you didn't actually use it. I used every technique on the internet about how to sit down and study. None of the procrastination tips worked. None of it. Why is that? Because it's not about procrastination itself. It's not about the tips, it's tricks. It's not about, breaking goals down and something like this. It's mostly about here. Something is broken within me. Something is broken within here. And the first thing that I would actually suggest you to do, if you can do this, because I cannot do this, but if you can do this, try to find value within the stuff that you are doing right now. So for example, if you're studying math, trying to find what is valuable to you specifically. Because math is this thing, for me at least, it was an outside stuff. It wasn't something that I was picking as a struggle, and it wasn't the thing that I really wanted to just, facing the challenge. It was the thing that people told me to do because in order to go to university, you need to know math. And it was the worst struggle of my entire life. And it was actually the shoots, I would say. Shoots are the things that you not picked. It's just simply that you should do it. But it's not the thing that you want to do. And it's not the thing that you need to do. It just shoots. So in order to find the meaning within the shoots, what you need to do is to ask yourself, what is valuable about it? What is really interesting about it? What do I like about math? What do I don't like about math? And try to actually find what is really interesting within the math. But if you like me, it wouldn't work for you. Why? Because I was the person who was completely bombarded with the internet. I was bombarding myself with the amount of knowledge I was giving at that moment. For the past 2 years, I was consuming for 8 hours per day straight about self-improvement, about, procrastination, and about so many stuff. None of it worked. And because of the fact that, I was bombarding myself with that, I never bring myself time to just think about myself. What about me? The only person in the whole world, I would say, in the whole world, the only person that knows the answer, that knows you specifically, from early childhood, that knows every mistake that you did, that knows everything about you, is you. And it will be counterintuitive, how can I just don't know myself? Well, if you are struggling right now with some basic problems like this, you cannot just sit down and do something. That means you probably never talked with yourself. You never actually ask yourself why I just can't sit down and study. In order to talk with yourself, and it'll be hard for you. I promise you, it will be hard. But if you will do it, it will fix your entire life completely. Only now, from January 1st, I would say, and only now I'm doing the amount of progress that I never actually thought about this amount of progress, I'm recording now daily for 3 videos. I am working on my video games. I'm studying Japanese. Finally, I'm started to learn how to draw. And it was the things that I was really wanted to do in the past, but now why I can't face it? Why I can't just sit down and do it? Because it's not about the stuff that you are doing right now. It's not about it. It's about here. It's about the problems that you're facing right now. And only person that knows something is within here. And not to solve this, in order to really solve this, sit down somewhere in a quiet place, I would say. If give yourself time to think about it. You are probably reconnected from the world. You're probably too connected, I would say, to the world. But now connected to yourself. The amount of information that you take in from the internet won't work because it doesn't make sense to you. You're not understanding the information. And by understanding, I mean your subconscious cannot use the information that you just take. For example, Pomodoro technique really works. But if you just understood the idea of the Pomodoro, if you just understood it, if you know what is Pomodoro, it doesn't mean that you understand how it works and how to use it. In order to understand it, you need to sit down and try to actually actively think about it. It will be hard. I'm gonna tell you, it will be the hardest part you can do. So, in order to just sit down and do something, I would say just journal, write things that you have on your mind right now. I'm gonna make a video about how to journal, but like technically, just simply, if you will just sit and think, you will make the most benefit in your entire life, the most progress, I would say, because the only person that knows everything is you. And I'm telling you, it will work. If you would just give it a try, it will work. It wouldn't work right now, like this, because you're too lost, probably. You're too within the internet. You're too reconnected from yourself. In order to connect back, you need to have time. You need to have some time to just reconnect it. And if you don't have time, you know what? I'm gonna give you the best technique that worked for me. I couldn't bring myself to just sit down and study. It was hard. I couldn't bring myself to just sit down and think about my values. It was too hard. So instead, I said, well, I have to go to school, for example. In the past, I really needed to go to school no matter what. So school wasn't far away from me, like super far away. I could, within an hour, go there by walking. Which means I can spend the whole time, the whole road, or the whole way, I would say, going there, walking there, without watching any YouTube, without listening to something, without using in my phone entirely. Just think about my problems right now, currently problems. Just give yourself time to think. If you cannot just sit down and study, at least use the things that you should do and try to make time for yourself to think about something. It worked for me right now. I mean, I'm going to university by my foot. Within an hour, I came there. Within an hour, I come back. I have 2 hours of just free time, I would say. Completely. No internet. Nothing. And that's when I actually started to make the process. That's when everything starts to click. I really understood why people are actually talking about those rules. Why planning works. Why the things that I'm talking about works. Like, within my channel itself, these are things that are working right now because they are actually, I understood them. In order to you to understand that, you need to spend time thinking about it. But I mean, it will be hard for you. Just try. It will fix it. And then in the thing that you need to focus, which is the best thing you need to focus while you're walking somewhere, is to be conscious about the things that you like thinking about. Be conscious about your feelings that you feel, and be conscious about what do you feel about when you fail. What do you feel when you win? What do you feel, or what do you think when you win? And what do you feel when someone sells you something? Be conscious about the things that you are thinking about, because answers and the problems that you're facing are patterns. You have exact same problem every time you go to school, for example. You have exact same problem every time you just sit down and try to study. Exactly the same. The only thing that you need to do is to sit down or just go for a walk and try to find this. Or within the problem itself, be conscious about them. Pay attention to everything that you do. Pay attention to the thoughts that you have here. Because your patterns will define how you you will have the exact same problem every time. Right now, I can truly say that whenever I don't want to do something, it is only about this. It's too hard for me right now, or I mean, I don't feel like I can accomplish it right now. And whenever I can actually understand that, oh, I cannot actually accomplish it. That's what my mind thinks. So I guess we need to make it so I can actually accomplish it. If you would just find the problem within yourself, if you would just actually analyze the problem and to find what is specifically broken within you, you will solve everything. I'm guaranteeing you. This is the best thing that worked for me, and that's how I fixed my life. And this is like the best thing that you can do. I'm gonna give you a little example. As I said, like, I started learning math only a couple of weeks before the whole math, like, the exam came. Why? Because, well, I was panicking and now we need to study. I was super motivated to just sit down and study. But then I realized I can actually try to think about myself differently. I can change mental shift. I can change my mental mindset, I would say, or just simply mindset itself. And just try to not think about myself in a way that I'm thinking about myself right now. So currently you're probably thinking about yourself that you're a failure, or you're a loser, or you're a lazy piece of shit. This is a blocking mindset. This is your mindset. If you think that you have a pretty, like, the best mindset in the world, that's when you actually have the worst mindset. I can tell you. Right now, if you're thinking that you don't have any problems with mindset, you have problems with mindset. Just acknowledge it. Sit down and try to find what is wrong with your mindset. And by mindset, I mean the things that you're thinking about yourself. How do you think about yourself? What is your identity? I would say, yes, that's a better word. Because the time when you think about yourself, just time when you just sit down and do it, the first thing that will come up is your mindset. How do you think about the problem? Why do you think about this? And, like, what will actually define? It's the whole problem is in those within a couple of seconds, I would say. For example, right now I failed at recording this exact video. The first thought that was popping in my head in the past is that, oh fuck, I need to redo this. I'm such a failure. And this little word, I'm such a failure, was actually the entire problem itself. You need to be the closest attention to the things that you are having right now, to the thoughts that you're having. Pay so much attention to it. You will find, and I'm guaranteeing you will find the problem. You will find the words that you think about yourself and redefine it. Say to yourself that, no, I'm not a failure. You need to actually prove to yourself that you are not a failure by doing things that you can do, by accomplishing stuff, by actually achieving things that you want to do. And if you're just at the deep, I would say, if you're just at the lowest dip impossible, the thing that you can do in order to stop being a failure, I would say, is to try to change your goal, not lower your goal. Because whenever you're lowering your goal, you still, like, feel about yourself as a loser. Because, well, I need to lower goals because I'm such a loser. I couldn't even do this. Well, I'm even worse than that. Change your goals entirely. If you have goal, I need to study math, wrong. Set your goal, just sit down and sit for 5 minutes per day. I mean, you can just sit down for 5 minutes per day, and you don't have to just study, just simply sit there and just do nothing, which will lead to a better problem, to a better solutions, to a better life. I hope that this video helped you, and finally, you stop procrastinating, I would say, and fix your life. So, if it did help you, leave a like, write comments, and if it didn't, like, press the dislike button. I will at least know that, well, this doesn't work for everyone. And write down in the comments why it didn't work for you, and if you know better problem and better solutions, write down in the comments. Subscribe to this channel if you really want to see those types of videos in the future. And yep, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.